You know what? I am finally ready to leave this K-pop thing behind once and for all. You know what? Maybe later. So today's video is going to be a little more laid back. It's going to be like a chit chat kind of video where I'm going to be talking about how my K-pop phase is lasting way longer than expected. So yeah, it's interesting. So I got into K-pop in 2015, and from 2015 to 2017, I like casually listened to it. Like I did not like stan people like really hardcore. I just like liked the music from several artists, and I would just put them on my playlist and just listen to it over and over again. Like I was just like not attached to K-pop idols like the way I am now. But after 2017, I decided to learn the names of some K-pop groups, and before I knew it, I started really getting into more and more K-pop groups, and I did not only stand for the music, but I also stand for the personalities and that. I also began ulting groups, standing groups, and also like collecting K-pop albums. And from 2017 to 2021, which is basically 4 years, I kept up with this pattern of, being a die-hard K-pop fan and even talking about it on the internet, like literally all the time. Like, as much as I don't want to admit it, but K-pop has become a huge part of my life very unknowingly, and I think it's insane that I am like really into K-pop even after so many years, when in the past I would like get out of something that I'm really into like fairly quickly. So I think it's really interesting, and I just really wanted to like discuss it like very casually. So a little background about me, and that is that before K-pop, I was really into anime. Like I got into anime, I would say in 2014 when Tokyo Ghoul was like still airing. So that was like 7 years ago, and my anime phase, I would say, lasted for around 2 years. Like I got out of it, I would say, at the end of 2016. I also had a phase where I was like really into books and reading books and like BookTube, which is the book side of YouTube. And I was really into that for like a year before I like lost interest. And then I was also into figure collecting, like anime figure collecting, and I kind of stopped doing that as well after like a year or so. However, amongst my other interests, K-pop is like the one thing that has managed to last the longest, which I'm like so shocked about. Honestly, when I really got into K-pop in 2017, I was like, man, I'm gonna like lose interest in 2 years. Like I really had that mindset that in like 2 or 3 years, K-pop is just gonna not be part of my life anymore, and I'll move on to the next thing, whatever that is. Like I genuinely had that belief, but that did not happen, because even now, like 4 years later, I'm like still really into K-pop, which I find really interesting. And man, honestly, being a K-pop fan is so stressful and frustrating at times. So I'm like shocked that I'm still really into it. Now, being an anime fan, like back in the day, was super stressful as well. Like if you're on Annie Twitter or the YouTube side of anime, then you know that being an anime fan was also very stressful, and just not fun a lot of the times when people were just being awful for the sake of being awful. Like you can't win. Like whatever fandom you're part of, there's always going to be things that frustrate you and annoy you. Like there's just no escaping. And that's why there are so many times I'm like, I want to move on. I want to be done with K-pop. I don't want to be in this for any longer. But I'm still into this even after 4 years later, like as a diehard fan, and 6 years later as like being a fan overall. Now I know there are people who have been into K-pop for 10 years and much longer than that, and I'm like, that's insane that those people are able to do that. But yeah, to me this is a big deal because it's been 4 years, and for me that's a long time. I don't know if in 10 years I'll still be into K-pop, which is really like interesting. I don't know if that'll happen, but maybe I'll lose interest in K-pop next year. That could happen. But for now, it's insane how my K-pop phase is lasting way longer than expected. And I think I still have reasons why I'm into K-pop and why I fell out of love with anime and books and figure collecting and all of those other things. Now, I just want to preface this by saying it's not like I completely don't watch anime anymore, or I don't read anymore, or any of that stuff. I still watch anime. However, I don't watch it as religiously as I did in like 2016, because I would like watch 50 anime series a year, and now I watch like 1 or 2 anime like series a year. So yeah, there has been a lot of change, and I think the reason why that happened is because a lot of the newer anime, it just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. I kind of like the older anime much better. I'm not saying that all new anime are terrible or anything like that. That's not the case. It's just it doesn't like appeal to me personally. The quality is good. It's just it's not for me. That's what I'm trying to say. There are some really good anime that I have watched that I really love, like Fruits Basket, and I love Psyche K and Beasters. Those are some that I like really enjoy and like. And as for books, I don't know, like, I don't know, I kind of lost interest in reading altogether. Like, the concept of reading is just, I'm not a fan of it. I don't know, I just don't care for it anymore. There are some really good books that I did read, like, recently. I think the last book I read was The One. Yeah, that's a book I read, and I really liked it, but I don't know, I just don't really care for reading anymore like I used to. I just don't. I prefer to read manga or comics. Like, I just prefer looking at the things rather than reading it and then imagining in my head. Like, I don't know, I just don't care for reading. That's an unpopular opinion, but it's just me. It's just how I feel, and I don't like how I feel like that, but I just do. However, the reason why I'm still into K-pop is because the newer K-pop that has come out, like 4th gen or 3rd gen, it like really appeals to me. I know a lot of people who are like 2nd gen fans or 3rd gen fans really hate the new K-pop, saying that, oh, it'll never be as good, yada yada yada. I know people are gonna think like that, but I personally really like the new K-pop. I love a lot of 4th gen groups, like I love ITZY, IZ*ONE, and Hyphen, Stacy, to name a few that I like really enjoy. And I feel like I still really get excited when newer groups debut and when my favorite groups make comebacks and whatnot. So it's like I really like the newer K-pop. Like, I love the old K-pop, but the new K-pop I'm also a fan of. I thought I wouldn't be, but I am, and I can't help it because the music is really good and I do really like it. And another reason why I'm still really into K-pop is because of my ultimates. So currently I have 4 ult groups: Monsta X, SF9, A-Pink, and Red Velvet, and my ults really pull me into K-pop. Like, Red Velvet and A-Pink, they haven't made a comeback in like, what, a year or so? But I still like religiously listen to their music. Like, I really do. Like, I don't think I go a day without not listening to, you know, an A-Pink song or a Red Velvet song. And Monsta X, SF9, they are very active, and they have frequent comebacks, and there's always something to get excited about. Wonho is making his solo comeback on the 26th of February. Changkyun is making his solo debut. So there's always something to be excited about. And even when Red Velvet and A-Pink are not making comebacks, still really into listening to their music and everything. And I'm always excited when they do make a comeback, whenever that will be, I don't know. So I guess in a nutshell, why I'm still into K-pop is because my ultimate groups are always there, and also because the newer K-pop, it appeals to me. Like, I can't help it. I think the quality is really good. I think it's kind of dumb how 2nd and 3rd gen groups are so, I don't know, knee-deep in their nostalgia that they don't want to admit that the quality of 4th gen or 3rd gen is as good as 2nd gen. Like, even if you don't like 3rd gen or 4th gen, you can at least, like, respect it. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, it's like, just because it's new, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's good. Maybe it's not for you. Kind of like anime, like I was saying earlier, that the new anime is not for me. I'm not saying that the new anime is bad. It's just, it's not for me. Same thing with K-pop, like 4th gen, 3rd gen, the trends, the music trends, like retro or tropical house, maybe it's not for you, but it's still good. I like it, so there's that. I hope I made my points clear with that. So yeah, I honestly thought I was going to be one of those people who was not going to be into 3rd gen or 4th gen because I was really into 2nd gen, but no. I really like 3rd gen, I really like 4th gen, and I think I like the change in the sound. Anyway, I'm getting completely off topic. The last thing I want to say is that K-pop came into my life and I was going through something really awful. I don't want to get into it, but it did, and I'm not going to say that K-pop magically made all my problems disappear, because no, but it was a good distraction. It was a good, healthy distraction from what I was dealing with, and I'm always happy for that, because Monsta X, Red Velvet, other groups I stand, they really pulled me out from a dark place, because the music like really healed me, and watching funny compilations of YouTube of Monsta X or GOT7 or Twice like put a huge smile on my face. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. Let me know in the comment section below how long you've been into K-pop, and do you enjoy being a K-pop fan or not? But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.